Farmers built this country, but John Deere is bleeding them dry, raking in $4 billion a year by forcing them to pay outrageous repair fees for equipment they already own. Tractors can't even fix themselves. And now, Trump is exposing the scam that's trapping hardworking farmers in a cycle of control and debt. How did John Deere get away with this for so long?
For years, only authorized dealers were granted tools and permission to make repairs on John Deere equipment.
Think you're a farmer who has invested a significant amount of money into a John Deere tractor, expecting it to be a reliable partner in your agricultural endeavors. However, when something goes wrong, you're faced with a surprising obstacle you can't fix it yourself. This is because John Deere has designed their equipment with proprietary software and diagnostics that only their authorized technicians can access. This practice has led to allegations that the company is profiting around $4 billion annually by monopolizing repair services. Farmers are essentially locked out of their machinery. Even for minor issues, they must rely on John Deere's authorized repair network, which often comes with higher costs and longer downtimes. This situation not only affects their wallets, but also their sense of independence. Traditionally, farmers have been self-reliant, fixing their equipment as needed to keep their operations running smoothly. Now, with these restrictions, they're losing that autonomy.
John Deere tractors and other farming equipment in the U.S. will now be able to repair their own equipment. It's under a deal reached between the American Farm Bureau Federation and John Deere.
The financial impact is significant. Being forced to use authorized repair services means farmers are paying more for repairs that they could potentially handle themselves, or through independent mechanics. This monopolistic approach has led to increased scrutiny and criticism from various quarters, including legal challenges and public outcry. In essence, the allegations against John Deere center on the claim that the company unfairly restricts farmers' ability to repair their equipment, leading to substantial financial gains for the company at the expense of the farming community. Back in 1837, a blacksmith named John Deere revolutionized agriculture by inventing the first commercially successful self-scouring steel plow. This innovation was a game changer, allowing farmers to work more efficiently with the tough prairie soils. John Deere was synonymous with farmer empowerment for many years, providing tools that enhanced productivity and supported the agricultural community. As time went on, the company continued to innovate, introducing more advanced machinery to meet the evolving needs of farmers. However, with the advent of modern technology, a significant shift occurred. John Deere began embedding proprietary software into their equipment, turning tractors and other machinery into complex computer-driven tools. While these advancements offered benefits like precision farming and improved efficiency, they also came with a catch: the software was locked down, preventing farmers from accessing it for repairs. This shift marked a departure from the company's original mission of empowering farmers. Instead of providing tools that farmers could use and maintain independently, John Deere's modern equipment required specialized knowledge and access to proprietary software for repairs. This change has been a point of contention, leading to debates about the right to repair and the balance between innovation and user autonomy. Farmers have always faced financial challenges: unpredictable weather, fluctuating market prices, and high input costs. But John Deere's repair restrictions have added another massive burden. Farmers are collectively losing an estimated $4 billion every year due to John Deere's monopolization of repair services. This figure includes the excessive repair fees, lost productivity from equipment downtime, and higher prices for parts and labor that could have been avoided if farmers were allowed to fix their machinery or hire independent repair shops.
The agreement follows years of lawsuits and complaints. Manufacturers like John Deere have used the argument products like phones, vehicles, or tractors have become too complex for people to repair on their own.
One of the biggest ways John Deere is draining money from farmers is through mandatory dealership repairs. If a farmer's tractor breaks down, even for a minor issue like a faulty sensor, they are forced to bring it to a John Deere authorized dealer. because the software needed to diagnose the problem is locked away. Mechanics at independent repair shops do not have access to the software, and neither do the farmers themselves. A simple repair that should have cost a few $100s can end up costing thousands due to dealership markup on labor and parts. Time is money in farming. During planting or harvest season, every hour counts. When a tractor or combine harvester breaks down, a farmer can't afford to wait days or even weeks for a John Deere technician to arrive. Many have reported losing entire fields of crops because they couldn't get their machinery fixed in time. These losses go beyond the direct cost of repairs. They cut into a farm's overall yield, impacting their income for the entire season.
For farmers, though, when their John Deere equipment goes wrong, they don't really have that luxury. They pretty much have to take it to the dealership. Now, that's changed, though, and the farmers that we spoke with tell us that's a win.
Small and mid-sized farms are hit the hardest. Unlike large industrial farms that may have multiple machines, smaller farmers often rely on just one or two pieces of equipment. If a tractor is out of commission, they can't continue their work. The extra financial strain pushes many farmers into debt, and some have no choice but to sell their farms altogether. The restrictive repair policies don't just cost money, they are driving smaller farms out of business, leaving corporate agribusiness to take over. The problem is getting worse as John Deere continues tightening its grip on repairs. The company has been increasing its control over parts and services, making it harder for farmers to buy replacement parts from third-party suppliers. By locking farmers into their ecosystem, John Deere ensures that farmers keep paying year after year, not just to buy their machines, but to keep them running. For an industry that already operates on razor-thin margins, these predatory practices are putting an unbearable financial burden on America's farmers. Instead of using their hard-earned money to reinvest in their farms, expand their businesses, or support their families, farmers are being forced to hand over billions to John Deere just to keep their machines working. The frustration among farmers is growing. For decades, they saw John Deere as a trusted partner, a company that helped them work the land more efficiently. But today, many feel like the company has turned against them, using technology not to improve farming, but to trap farmers in a never-ending cycle of dependency. Walter, a third-generation farmer from Montana, shared his infuriating experience. He purchased a $300,000 John Deere tractor, expecting it to last for years. During planting season, the GPS guidance system malfunctioned. In the past, he could have bought a new part, installed it himself, and gotten back to work in a few hours. But John Deere's software restrictions wouldn't let him do that. The replacement part required a software calibration that only an authorized technician could perform. Walter had to wait 4 days for the technician to show up. By then, he had lost valuable time, resulting in lower yields and thousands of dollars in lost income. The repair bill? Over $3,000 for something that should have cost a few hundred. Farmers across the country have similar horror stories. Some have been forced to tow their tractors hundreds of miles to an authorized dealership because they had no local repair options. Others have been stuck waiting for weeks because their local John Deere service center had a backlog of repair requests. Many are forced to pay outrageous fees for minor software updates that could have been done in minutes, if only they had access to the necessary tools. The emotional toll is just as severe as the financial one. Farming isn't just a job, it's a way of life built on self-reliance, problem-solving, and independence. Farmers have always been tinkerers, able to fix their machinery with a wrench and some ingenuity. John Deere's repair policies take that independence away. Many farmers describe the feeling as betrayal by a company that used to stand for innovation, but now stands for corporate greed. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.